Describe your educational experiences.
My education experience. When arriving at school, deaf kids are often placed in deaf ed in kindergarten because many times they arrive at school with no signing skills. So they're placed there in that class to learn sign language. When I arrived in school, they decided to place me in first grade with an interpreter because I was already able to sign. So from first grade all the way through school till now, I've been mainstreamed with hearing students. And sometimes that's a little bit hard, being the only deaf kid in an entire hearing classroom. But at the same time, I've enjoyed my education. It's been more of a challenge. I have a lot to look forward to. And I've had both positive and negative experiences with my classes at school. For example, with interpreters, sometimes you have a good interpreter, but sometimes you have not so skilled of an interpreter. So some interpreters, for example, can keep up with all of the communication in the classroom. Other interpreters seem to not be able to keep up, and it doesn't seem to match what's going on in the class. So that's frustrating. But that taught me that you need to know how to support yourself. Many times deaf students will just sit back and not say anything, and I think that's wrong. I think you need to have a voice for yourself and tell them what you need. I need more support. If you just sit back and don't say anything, you learn nothing. So I think it's important that deaf people learn how to speak up for themselves in the hearing world and tell the people in the education system what they need to learn in the classroom. I think that's important. And also, one time I did have an experience. I struggled with this one teacher who was a hearing teacher that didn't want to work with the deaf student. And that teacher would just talk, turn his back where I couldn't lip read, and the interpreter felt like they were interpreting real fast through the information. Sometimes when we had a test, he wouldn't give us a written test. They would just give us an oral test, and there was a time limit. It went by real fast. And looking at the interpreter, then looking down to write on the paper, I would miss the next thing that they said. So I asked if they could please write the questions for me, and they refused. It was very frustrating. So I think it's important that parents and the deaf student let the teachers, interpreters, other school personnel know how to interact with the deaf students and give them the opportunity to learn, because every deaf person has a right to access their education. I also think it's really important to have good, qualified interpreters. And the reason is that in school, if you don't have a good, qualified interpreter, that student is not going to learn. You have to have a good, qualified interpreter to really access your education. That helped me all along in my classes, because now I'm in honors classes and I've graduated to accelerated program. So it's good to know how to find good, qualified interpreters.